Hello, hello. Lee Palmer, you're the first one. Afternoon, evening. Hi, PJ. Hi, Brandy. Hi, Megan. Hi, Eileen. What y'all up to? Hi, Pam. Hi, Valerie. Hello, Lori. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Miss Peggy. You can leave it for now. Hi, Kathy. Jeanette, how are you? Hi, Linda. Hi, Donna. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, Jess. I'm live from Brunswick, Georgia tonight. We made it from Central Virginia all the way to Brunswick today, mostly in the rain today at that. And look, we were so excited because it stopped. It had stopped raining. The sun was trying to peek through. And the closer we got to our exit, it just kept getting dark and dark and dark. And let me tell you what, honey, it came a gully washer. We couldn't get our stuff out of the car. It thundered, it lightning. The power went off 3 times. So I'm here. Hi, Mindy. Hi, Sunny. Will I see you this weekend, Sunny? I hope you're going to say yes. Yeah, I'm about, I don't know. I think we mapped it earlier. I'm maybe between 4 and 5 hours away from Orlando, I believe. Hi, Elizabeth. How you doing? 3 hours. Keith says 3 hours. Okay, even better. Even better. Because, by the time you stop a few times, child, and we stopped at Buc-ee's. Look, I'm going to say something that might get me slaughtered, but am I the only one that Buc-ee's gives huge anxiety to? I don't like it, y'all. Yeah, I can't take it. It was so crowded and so loud and bumper to bumper people. It's just not my thing. It's not my thing. Look, and we tried their brisket. I didn't like it either. It is overwhelming. Yes, that's a good word for it. You don't like Buc-ee's either? Okay, so I don't feel so bad because I'm not alone then. Oh, yeah? Okay. Well, listen, I decided to wear, Lord, what red do I have on? I'm in love with this red. Rebecca, are you watching? What color red did I say I had on? It's this red in the summer collection. Give her a ring pop. Is that what it is in the summer collection? Y'all look at this red. How pretty. And it goes good with my skin too. My skin tone. I love this vibrant blue undertone creamy red. And I got something stuck all over my nail. You just got your new colors. Good, Leanne. I can't wait to see an Instagram post. You tag me in it so I can share it. Hi, Trina. How you doing, boo? It looks great with my blue ring. Thank you. My old hands, my old wrinkly hands. Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Miss Karen. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Laura, don't I even know it? Are you talking about the HEMA-free ones? Because I'm in love with those. I had 2 of those on a nail a couple of days ago, and I'm like, these 2 look really good together. You just left your kid in D.C. Always going to be okay. It'll be okay, honey. Look, tonight, have y'all seen this on the website? Let me move this bag because she wants to throw everything off focus. Lord. This is our new painter's potion. Oh, it's in there. Keith is with me tonight. He's going to be helping work our live. Y'all be patient. he's going to throw a product up here. This is a revolutionary product that we are bringing to the nail industry. If you don't know, so this in a dropper bottle, this is glass with a glass dropper. Our brand new Painter's Potion will turn any chrome or pigment powder into a water-based paint. Won't you stop it? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? I'm going to show you how to use this tonight. I'm going to teach you something. I'm going to learn you how to use this. I even have 3 chromes that I threw in my mobile bag. These were from a couple of summers ago. This is just really pretty translucent chrome. I threw this one in from 12 Chromes of Christmas, but I'm also going to teach you how to use pigment powder. Our Saharan Sunset pigments, these are not chrome. These aren't chrome. You can tell by the price. You get 6 pigments, $39.95. And these are all pretty chameleon, sparkly pigments. I know this thing jumping around. I apologize. It could be because I'm on hotel Wi-Fi. I don't know. But there is a difference on how you use pigment versus how you use chrome. So I'm going to show you how to use the pigment, and then I'm going to show you how to use it with the Painter's Potion. But Painter's Potion can be used with anything you already have in your inventory. It can even be used with your pressed chrome palettes. And look, the best part is, are y'all ready for this? Your paint never dries up. I mean, it dries. Your paint will dry, but what I'm going to mix on this palette, I could leave here for 20 years if I want to, and all I got to do is go back and rehydrate it with the Painter's Potion. Now, this is a thicker consistency, kind of like honey, okay? And as long as I rehydrate it, I can go back 20 years later and pick up that same paint that I mixed. Girl, stop. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? So first of all, let's go over these colors that come in this 6-piece right up top, Saharan Sunset. This is brand new for summer 2025. We've got Violet Veil. Now, when you use a pigment powder on a gel nail, if you're just going to use it as pigment, there's a couple ways you can use it. You can mix it in your top coat on a palette and then put it on that way, or you can let it adhere to the tacky layer of your gel polish and you can just dust it over top. You can ombre it, that kind of thing. This one, beautiful, is Passion Pomegranate. Now look, y'all, I don't have all my video lights tonight. I'm mobilizing in the hotel, so this is not going to pick up all this beautiful chameleon color changing. Look at this. There you're seeing that change color just a little bit. Let me take a tiny bit of that. See how shimmery and pretty that is? All of our pigments are cosmetic grade. So if you want to use this on your eyes or your cheeks or wherever, you can. You can. Who has these already? I know some of y'all already grabbed these. And then we have Warm Cerulean. Now, a lot of y'all comment on my engagement ring. My engagement ring is a cerulean. And cerulean is kind of aqua green. My engagement ring is a Caribbean blue or a Caribbean cerulean. Aphrodite is the stone that it is. And this almost matches that stone to a T. Warm cerulean. That's kind of aqua. The yellow one is Lantern Light. And I can already tell over a dark nail, this is going to kind of have some purple tint to it. Changing colors. This blue one is kind of bluish purple. How do you say this? Hillary named this. I told her not to give it no names that I couldn't pronounce. Is it Aegean? Am I pronouncing that right? Aegean seas? Somebody tell me. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I thought. Okay. And then this kind of limey green one has a really pretty rose gold tint to it, and it's Mediterranean mint. All right, so let's use these as pigment powder first. I pulled out a cat eye. I'm going to use the crystalline cat eye in the color Silk. And I'm sorry, Keith, I don't have this on your lineup, so I just pulled this out of my bag. Y'all forgive me. Let's pop this down. This is one of those cat eyes that you don't have to have, that doesn't have a gray base to it. So because it does not have a gray base, you can use it really over anything. And I'm just going to apply one coat and cure. Oh, honey, I love this color too. And then I'll pull a little bit with my magnet. Thank y'all for being here tonight. In case you don't know, the first ever Nail Art Baby PhD boot camp went online today. That's going to be out in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. We do have a 10 student minimum. If you're interested or you're coming to the Heartland Nail Expo, we would love to see how this, this is our first one. This is the experiment, trying this to see if it works in the baby boot camp. So if you're even remotely interested, we would appreciate if you would sign up with that. If we don't get 10, we give you money back. We don't keep it, but we can't book the classroom if everybody waits to the last minute and says, oh, I'm going to sign up, Miss Tracy. Count me in, I'm going to sign up. We kind of have to have some committed before we can do that. So I hope that some of you will join me for that. All right, there's coat number 1. Let's go with coat number 2 here and just kind of pull this little cat eye through it. And in my travel bag, this is the magnet I have. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Can y'all see okay with the lighting that I've got going on here? I hope so. Okay, good deal. Now let's cure this. I pulled out my smudge brush. This is great for applying your pigments. Also, you know what I really love are the cheap eyeshadow brushes from Dollar Tree, just the fluffy ones. So I'm just going to grab, I think I'm going to grab this blue one. And we're going to let this stick into the tacky layer. Anybody know what the tacky layer is made up of your gel polish? Or how that tacky layer happens? What is this delicious shiny stuff? This is our Saharan Sunset pigments. It's a set of 6 up top. We are super limited in quantity on this. I haven't shown this, but when the summer 2025 collection dropped, y'all grabbed these up. We only have 14 sets in stock of these. We do have some individual colors, but only 14 of the set. Okay. Educate us. Tacky layer. Your tacky layer of your gel polish happens when air or oxygen hits that gel, and as it's cured, that is what we call either the oxygenated layer or the inhibition layer. So that's excess gel that floats to the top of your nail that doesn't cure. Okay, that's why some of you have asked me, Miss Tracy, why does my metallic glaze get pits in it? It's because it doesn't like that inhibition layer. And a simple fix for that is you just wipe off that tacky layer and then go right ahead with your metallic glaze and it fixes it, right? So in this tacky layer, though, we're grateful to have that because it'll hold our pigment. Watch. Tap, 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 tap. Let me get in frame, Thelma. Tap, tap, tap. And then instead of reloading my brush, I'm going to go just like a little typewriter up and down here, up, down, up, down, up, down, until it naturally ombres that pigment out. I'm going to go just a little bit heavier at the back of the nail. And so in this case, we need the tacky layer. If your gel polish doesn't have a tacky layer, there's even a solution for that. I brought my clear HEMA-free rubber base. And all you would need to do is just put down a coat of rubber base and cure it to get a tacky inhibition layer. No, Jess, that was right. That was right. Look, I can do a double ombre here. I'm not a scientist. I have a hard time remembering scientific terms, but I can tell you in layman terms what it does, right? Now look here. Isn't that pretty? That's very oceany. Reminds you of the beach and sand? Yeah, it does. So if you struggle with liquid ombre, which would be, what would that be? One stroke paint or any type of gel polish with your ombre brush. If you struggle with that and you can't just quite get it, pigments are a good place to start because they're very user-friendly. It's a game changer, okay? Now look, I can still feel the tacky layer through this gel polish, so I don't need any metallic glaze to put my top coat on because that is still tacky. If you've covered it so much it's lost its tack, then yes, metallic glaze. But for now, let's just put a top coat on that and see how she looks. I'm going to put some shiny top coat on, some Ladybug Luster. Oh, honey. I think this would be really, really pretty on toes. And guess what? These pigments adhere to lacquer as well. When it gets to that stage where you know how you'll touch a toenail just to see if you can barely see your fingerprint in it before you top coat, that would be the stage that you would use these. You could take a fan brush and sprinkle it all into that lacquer and just simply dust away the excess and you're ready to go. So if you still do lacquer pedicures, then this gives you an option for nail art. Y'all look at that, how pretty. Okay, we're going to cure that. Now let's talk about, did I explain how to put that in the tacky layer? The pink reflection is beautiful in this one. Now, if you still do a lot of lacquer, you can also take that lacquer top coat, or you can take a gel top coat, and you can mix equal parts of this. Here, let's just kind of let that flow down in there. And typically what I do is I do have another top coat with me, just make sure. I would mark one of these. I'd put a little dot on it or a little G on it for glitter so that I don't pick up this top coat and use on a French manicure. But typically what I would do is just mix that in there. And now I've made myself a top coat. I would put just a little bit more top coat in that one. Like this. And now we can take a black nail here. Oh, girl, stop. Quit it. This turned purple. Purple. I'll give you up close here in a sec. Let me get this on. So now you could make a bajillion. You got 6 of these in this set. You could make a bajillion top coats from this one set. Look at that. It's not too overwhelming. Now I could have made it stronger had I wanted to, but can you see how translucent I mixed that? Laura, if you're still watching, you could add these in with those other top coats you're using. It's very, very pretty. And then we just cure that. Now be sure that you clean this lady off first before you put that back down in your bottle.
Lauren's watching.
Who?
Lauren's watching. She gave you a thumbs up. Or Laura.
Okay, good. So that's another way that you can use your pigment. However, Tonight, I'm going to teach you how to use painting potion. Let me get this off of my palette so I don't get that mixed up. Painting potion is not gel. It's water-based, and it washes out of your brush with water. Okay? Therefore, what kind of brushes should you be using? If it's water-based, let's think here. What kind of brushes should we be using? Watercolor. Yes. I've got my mini watercolor, and I've got my watercolor pen. Okay, so to mix this, we're going to start with equal parts of painter's potion and pigment. Your pigment, it doesn't have to be this pigment. It can be chrome. It can be a chrome palette. It could be a chrome palette that has all broken up, and you're like, well, now what do I do with it? You see, I told you that looked a little bit like honey. Boing. We're going to take just a little itty bitty tiny bit of that, and I'm going to take an equal amount of my pigment, about the same amount, just a tiny bit more. Start with equal parts, and now we're going to mix that. This can sit on this palette 20 years, honey. It can dry completely up, and in 20 years, all I got to do is put a little drop of painter's potion on there, and it brings it right back to life. And look, if this gets too thick on you, you can take a little bit of water and you can thin this down because it's water-based. Now I want you to look at this in here versus in your gel. These pigments love painter's potion because they stay nice and strong. Y'all following me? Let's mix a couple of others of these so I have something to work with here. And actually, I think I want just a tiny bit more of that pigment in here. So does it evaporate, and how fast if it does? Are you talking about the water or the painter's potion? The painter's potion does not evaporate. It just dries. You see, I can make a paste or I can make it really, really thin. If I left this like this, Laura, it would dry like that. Wash my brush out. Let's go with a little bit of violet. A teensy drop. Let's put a couple drops on here so I'll have enough to mix and work with. Yeah, if you want to thin out your paint, I would most likely thin it with water so that you don't get this too awfully thick and homogeneous. You want it to be nice and fluid. Oh boy, that's pretty. My other favorite in this collection is the Passionate Pomegranate.
She asked if you just reapply it to get it to, when it dries out, just reactivate it with that.
Yes, you can reactivate it with the painter's potion. Just keep in mind, depending on how long it's been dried up, you may need to add a little water to it. Yeah. And I like this green one. Let's put some of this on here too. Look, hopefully if you let it sit, let's say it even sits a year and not 20 years. If you're going to let it sit, it does need to be, I would cover it. Because as this gets dusty and just kind of sits there and you reactivate it, you're going to reactivate all those dust particles in it too. Y'all following me? Child, that is not going to be pretty. So either put it in something where it's kind of tucked away or something that has a lid on it. You could even use this out of a little Tupperware container. All right. Now you can see this one's already start drying over here because we got this AC on in this room, honey. Let's see. I painted me a whole little stick in black here. Oops, I had green on my brush and I went in the pink one. Oh well. Watch. Let me zoom you in. Now look, right now what I'm doing is checking the consistency of my paint. And that's a little bit see-through for me. So I want to make that a tiny bit more opaque. So all I do is grab a little bit more of my pigment or my chrome or whatever it is I'm using. If I'm coloring in something, maybe I'm going to color in a stamp, I might want it a little bit more transparent. But for what I'm going to use it for tonight, I kind of want it just a little bit opaque. Now let's mix all that in there. Oh yeah, look. There we go. Now let's check that transparency again. Yes, child. That's it. That's it. I am going to clean off my brush with some water in between my colors. I wish my lighting were better so you could see this. I know that's hard to, let's see if I put this behind it, if it changes that. It helps a little. It helps a little. Okay, and I got to mix one more here. One more. I don't think I have this one on your color chart. This is my chrome powder. I'm going to put a drop of Painter's Potion. Whoopsie. And some 5 golden rings. Now look, if I had my whole entire set of 12 chromes of Christmas, I would be mixing some chrome in with my pigments. I like the way it looks with a little bit of both in it. Lord, stop it, Miss Tracy. You know what? We could let's mix these two colors right here. Don't you think that would be pretty? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, honey. Look at that. Okay, so here we go, GGO. Let's come right down here. And I'm just going to paint away here just real quick. And hope that the our little travel light gods will be with us so that we can see this. Oh, I'm going to go in this one that I mixed right here. Just stir it back up, mix it back up, go right up into here. And let me turn this around. One more down this way. Do you see how fluid it's made these pigments? Nice. They're like butter. They are literally like butter. I wish you could see this like I'm seeing it. Let me rinse out my brush. I'm going to go in this little bit of green I mixed up here. I'm going to touch a tiny bit of that to go in my green.
Yeah, so this would be beautiful at Christmas time.
This would be exquisite at Christmas to color in your ornaments with. July 4th is coming. I think this would make like amazing fireworks. Won't you stop? Look at this. I'm going to see if I can adjust my lighting just a little bit here for you. I think that helped some. Look at that. Let's put that one to the side. Let's go with another one here. Speaking of a firework. Wash out my brush. This is how I make my firework. I just do boing, I press down. I let up on the pressure, pull in, press down, let up on the pressure, pull in. Press down. And I just kind of keep pulling in to the inside of this little lady. Maybe have some little chings. Work our way around this firework, honey. And then go in between that with maybe some whipped cream gel and do the final definition with that. Let's let that dry and I'll come back to it here.
Alicia's wondering if the H2O drops are going to come back.
Are the H2O drops coming back? Yes, y'all sold us out of those. We've already reordered it. They should be there by the time I get home. They sure should. This is a happy hour. I'm going to mix a little happy hour with this pigment I already got going on here. Look, I'm just going to keep adding to it, honey. We're going to make us a new color. Now that has gotten really thick and gloopy. So I'm going to add a touch of Painter's Potion. And probably a little touch of water. Oh, now look at this new color I've just made. Dry time for this product, it's going to depend on how dry or how wet you've mixed yours. But it dries very quickly. Also, I want you to know that your Painter's Potion has a fixative in it so that when it's dry, it's stuck. It's not going to come off with your top coat. You know how you'll top coat some things and it spreads those pigments? It picks those pigments up and they kind of grainy and move around. This will not do that. If you've let it dry, I would say no more than 5 minutes. If you look at it and it still looks wet, okay, then you're going to have to leave it just a little bit longer. But this is full of fixative, so you won't lose your pigment. This is beautiful. Now, most of our chromes and our pigments are metallic. So basically what you're going to be doing is making metallic paint. Do you have to put it on matte? You do need to put it on matte so that it will grab the surface, but then you can shiny top coat it. No worries. No worries at all. Keith, would you pull me a 9mm brush out of that little sack right there? Thank you, baby. Good, 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 good. Now, I don't know what color this is I've made. This is part gold. It's part Saharan Sunset. It's kind of like a rose gold with a little bit more peachy tone to it.
Set it down there.
Thank you. I'm going to let that dry. Let's go back over here to this one. And I want that to be just a slightly different color blue. Do I have something else here? I do. I use Artistic, Megan. I'm going to go in with a little bit of this. This is called Rainy Day Fund. Yes, I use Velvet Matte because it holds a little bit more. I'm going to lighten up my blue that I've mixed here slightly. Ooh, that's too much, girl. Go back into your painter's potion. Look, if you don't use this for anything except your broken chrome palettes, you will do yourself a favor. And now let's mix. Oh, that's the perfect blue. Lord. Look at this. I'm telling you, these base pigments of the Saharan Sunset are just beautiful. The color shift is insane on these. For 39 bucks, yeah, you can get all of them. Okay, now we're going to go down to our 9mm brush here. At least I think we are. Let me see if this is what I want. Oh, honey. What that means is, especially if you get in a bind and you need a certain color of whipped cream gel that you didn't have, you could mix this as thick as whipped cream if you want to, as long as you have a powder that matches.
Leanne saying she's seeing butterflies with this product.
Girl, wouldn't butterflies be beautiful? I'm just doing little scrolly here.
What was the other brush you used?
I used the watercolor mini brush. It does need a top coat, yes. But now this will become permanent in about 10 minutes. What I like to tell people is if you know you're going to use something like this, you guys, do your designer nail first. Do your artwork nail first, so these can dry while you're polishing the other nails. And then there's never any question, is it dry or not? I want a little bit of this gold that I... Could you use this with fine glitters? Are you talking about the pigments or the painter's potion? If you're talking about the pigments, yes, you could mix them with your fine glitters. But if you're talking about painter's potion, fine glitters are not... Okay, so fine glitters are not close enough pigment-wise to be able to paint with those. So, no, you would need to keep your painter's potion mixed in powder form. I hope I explained that properly. Yeah, you're welcome. Don't want you to be disappointed if you mix it with your glitters and it doesn't work.
Laura said this is going to be my new favorite thing. My mind is already going on.
Yeah, this is a game changer. This is a game changer. Look here, Miss Tracy just sitting here, just painting away. Look at this. You can use this with neon pigments. If you have our tri-level pigment palette, how many of y'all have that little pressed pigment palette with all the nudes, all the brights, all the darks, all the girls? You can use this with that pigment palette. Oh, yes, you can. And that pigment palette has over 100 colors in it. So now you have 100 and some colors of paint with this, with any powders, Sunny, any powders, loose, pressed.
Janice said you could do dragonflies.
Dragonflies. You know what's really pretty is if you have the Solar Express chrome powder or any type of a rainbow chrome powder. Now you have rainbow paint to match it. I don't know if I can fit any more on here or not. I don't think I can. I'm going to let that one dry. Let's go back to neighbor over here and let's put a few tiny strokes in her. See. Questions. This is a water-based paint, what you've made here. So water cleans out water. So you clean your brushes with water. I would clean it with water, and then I would put some of our brush cleaner in it and let it seal up your brushes there. If you miss someone asking, but do you think candy crumbs would break? I do not think you could do candy. Candy crumbs are solid. It has to be a powdered form of pigment or chrome.
Trina's asking for chrome flakes. Would it work?
Chrome flakes, that's what I just answered for Jessica. No, I don't think it would work with chrome flakes unless they were crushed up in powder form, and then that's powdered chrome, right? So I have some chrome flakes here. I'll try it for you if you want me to. I want you to see, though, how fluid it is. And you don't even have to paint with a brush. You can use a dotting tool. Let's go on the end of this handle here. You can paint with dots with this. Look.
How long does it take to dry, Leanne?
How long does it take to dry? So we said earlier, Leanne, it's going to depend on how thick or how watery you have mixed your paint as to, how quickly it dries. Y'all remember this little flower I taught you making your petals like that? Look how pretty. Lord. Okay, let's check this one because I believe this one's dry. Okay, this one's dry. Let's put a top coat on her.
Laura asked, does it need to be sealed with metallic glaze?
Does it need to be sealed with metallic glaze? I probably would. I don't have metallic glaze with me, but yes, that's a great question. I probably would.
Trina thinks peacock feathers would be pretty.
I think peacock feathers would be beautiful. Beautiful. I want you to look what happens when this shiny top coat goes on here.
That's beautiful.
Yes, Deborah. So that's a great question. Gel liner brushes are prone to going wonky on you because it's that little tiny, thin, skinny brush. So take your liner out of the bottle, wipe it off really good with a paper towel, and then stick that liner brush in a cup of hot water, and boing, comes right back to a point. And that's because we're constantly taking it in and out. So the brush is exposed to oxygen, then it's exposed back in the color to the chemical, and then it's out, and then it's in, then it's out, then it's in. And then some colors are more prone to that than others. Look, we got some, where's our candy chrome? I thought I pulled out a candy chrome. Let me get it.
I needed something sweet. I hate it.
Let's see if our candy chrome. I have Pumpkin Patch with me in my travel bag. Let's see if we can make a paint with this. I don't think we can, but we'll try it.
Geneva says, how do they look over white and light colors?
Well, it's going to depend on whatever color paint you've mixed, Geneva. I only have pastel colors I'm working with. But if you're using, I don't know, let's say you're using black silk chrome, which is one of our chromes, over white or light, it's going to look great. It'll be beautiful. So you would just mix that according to your chrome color. Okay, here's a little bit of painter's potion. Look, y'all, I'm trying to bring you some products into the nail world that you've not had before. And this painter's potion is non-toxic. It is one product in one of the purest forms that I've ever used. And it would be every artist's dream to have something like that. Now, I can already tell you it's going to take more chrome flakes than it is chrome powder. And I'm kind of crushing that as I go. Can y'all see? Y'all, I don't know. This might work. Still too thin for my liking. I like mine a little pigmented here, so let's go with a little bit more. A tiny bit more. And remember, none of this goes to waste. All you do is rehydrate it with a little bit more of your serum. It can, Sonny. You could use it with a ton of things. And especially, I'm always looking for something that helps me use up the product that I'm not using. Did I say that right? If I've got something on my shelf, why am I not using it? And is there something that I could add with it that would make me use it more? Well, this is mixed pretty good, y'all. Let's try it here and see what happens. I don't even know. All right. I'm getting a little bit of separation there. I don't know if you can see. Those chrome flakes are pulling back out of the fluid. Now, if I were going to color in with it, yeah, maybe, but why would I color in with it? I would want it to make a paint. So I feel like if I'm going to use this, I got to have a powder in there to kind of help bind it. The powder is like the binder. The flakes are separating from the painter's potion. Yeah, you can see it pulling away slightly. Right? But let's go ahead and top coat this because this is all nice and dry and beautiful. You could do flowers. You could do hibiscus. You could do fireworks. You could do jack-o'-lanterns. You could do scary vampire teeth. I don't know. It's just anything you could paint with whipped cream gel, you could paint with this. You just wouldn't have the texture. Here we go. Look how pretty. Oh.
Heidi said after it dries, can you wipe it off the nail to be gone?
Heidi is asking, after it's dry, can you wipe it off the nail to be gone? It would be tricky. After about 10 minutes, it becomes permanent. So you might get some of it off, but you might have to buff the rest of it off. Look, if you know you're going to need it taken off, try to catch it before then. Okay? Complete game changer. Complete. Now let's take our clear rubber base here. We still got a couple of these pigments open. It's very economical. You get this whole tube size for $12.95. I think's what it is.
That's right.
And let's cure this. And I'm going to do a little bit of an ombre here with, what do I want to use? I love this one. Will Painter's Potion be at the show? I don't know if we brought it, Lee. I don't know, hon. I packed it, but I can't remember if I packed this product or not. Because I knew I was using it and I didn't want it to sell out at the show, and then you guys were buying it too. It's really, really tough to manage that inventory. Very tough. But I may have some with me. It just wouldn't be a lot.
Janice said, do you stay up nights thinking of stuff? Don't you stay up at night? Don't you thinking of these things? Janice said.
Oh, I stay up nights thinking of this? Yeah, girl. Sometimes I do. So how many uses are in a bottle? Or just get, well, it's let's see, it's half an ounce in a bottle. And I only put 5 drops on my palette. So I guess it depends on how big your paint pile is going to be that you're going to mix. But you know I'm not going to throw this away either. I want you to look at how this has started to dry. Do you see that? See how it's gotten pasty? We're not going to throw that away. By any means, we are not going to throw that away. Okay, this is going to adhere to the tacky layer. These pigments are really, really pretty. What a pretty ombre that is. Yeah, I would think it would last you a while. Thank you for asking, Leanne. My grandmother got to come home, but she had to go back today for a procedure, and they didn't have a good outcome with the procedure, so they've admitted her back into the hospital. So thank you for asking.
That's pretty.
This is really, really beautiful. Look at that. It's almost like a foil type of pigment. Thank you, Janice. Anyway, that's our little pigment lesson tonight. Mix it in your top coat. Let it stick in your tacky layer. Or now you can mix it with your painter's potion. And any color pigment you have, now you have a paint. Saharan Sunset pigments are 6-piece. There's a yellow, a purple, a blue, a peach, a mint, and an aqua. Essentially, they all change color kind of, and they're $39 for the 6-piece set. Keith will pop that up for you right here. And if you notice in that particular photograph, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Rebecca mixed those in with her top coat and then swirled that on that little glass disc that's on. So 6 pieces, $39. We only had 14 of these hanging on when we went live. I don't know where they're at now. And then the other product I showed was the Painter's Potion. which you'll get a bajillion uses for.
Laura asked, is there more pigments besides those 6?
In loose powders, we have tons of loose powder pigments. Most of ours are chrome, but they're all in the pigment and chrome category, Laura. So any of those you could mix it with. And I'm hesitant to show this because I don't think these are online yet. They'll be online before I go live. Wait, y'all, give me a sec on this. Give me a second. Because these are in one of my lives that I'm doing while I'm gone. I can't get it open. It's tied in a little hard knot here. I don't know how that happened.
Probably me.
Let Keith see if he can open it, and I'll show you something real quick. Can you mix with glitter? You can mix it with glitter, but you can't paint with glitter. Glitter is not tiny enough to paint with. How do you get your bucks before checking out? We have a little video on our YouTube channel showing you how to use your bug bucks.
Get some scissors.
Give me a knife over there, and we'll see if we can get this out of here. Because you guys are going to love these with your... Oh, here, I got some scissors. I got it. I knew I had scissors. I have to cut my pretty bag, though. I would say Keith Vincent tied that, but I'm not going to mention any initials.
Keith probably packed that instead of...
Okay. I know Keith packed these. Here we go, GGO. We have a summer pigment palette set of 3. Again, I don't think these are online yet. I might be wrong, but I don't think they are. I think she just got them ready. And I haven't had a chance to put those on. And in this threesome set, y'all look at this, is a blue-green. This is the ocean one. And then I have the summer Moroccan jewel tones. Ooh. And then there's one other that's all the fuchsia and floral tones.
She said, I got teased. Holly.
So this painter's potion is going to work with all these. Okay. These will be up before too much longer. Look, y'all, our team's working real hard when I'm away from the office. Obviously, I've been traveling all day today, so I'm limited what I can do as far as that goes. And we just finished a big trade show in Oregon, and now we've got this giant trade show this weekend. And we just had some challenges these past couple of weeks with family sickness and all the things. So these are purposely not on there because they got held up in shipping. Actually, they got lost, and we didn't think we were going to get these at all. But luckily, we were able to turn that situation around, and we got these in. So give our team just a little bit of time, and they'll have this up for us. Okay. Thank y'all for being here tonight. I hope you have a great Wednesday. I'll go live from the show sometime on Sunday and give y'all a little tour if you're not able to come. And we really appreciate y'all supporting the mobile manicurist. Every time I'm able to go to the grocery store or whatever the case might be, I have to say thank you, God, for all of the people that support the mobile manicurist, because they've made it possible for me to buy my groceries this week, basically. And that's the way I feel about y'all. So I love you guys and wish you a wonderful weekend coming up this weekend. Okay. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.